Hello, guys, and welcome to the Fat Loss Game podcast. We did change our name from Team Evolve to the Fat Loss Game because it better entails what we talk about. And we are so excited to bring you episode 3 this week. But before that, let's do our formal introduction. So you have your hosts, me, Viv, and
Hey, it's D. Welcome, everyone.
welcome. All right, Dee, do you want to let our viewers and listeners know what we are talking about in today's episode?
Yes, how to figure out what your goal weight should be.
I love it. I love it. This is a question that we get all the time from our clients. They come to us and they know they want to lose weight, but they don't know how to set a goal weight, what their goal weight should be, if they should even set a goal weight. Is that a good idea? So I think this is a great topic and question to get into for this week's podcast. I'm so excited.
Yeah, let's do it. So, girlfriend, how do you figure out what your goal weight should be?
All right, let's get into it. So there's so many different ways to decide what your goal weight should be. And there is no one set answer for everybody. But I know that, when you hear a question, you want that one set answer because you want to know, hey, I just want to know what my goal weight should be. So, what I recommend as a starting point is we all know the BMI chart,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And if you actually go to that chart, there's a range of what they say is a healthy weight. Now, I will say if you have a lot more muscle mass than the average person, QD, it can be off because if you have more muscle mass and you weigh more because of that muscle mass, you actually may be considered overweight even though you are technically healthy. But I do think that for the average person who doesn't have a crap ton of muscle mass like D, the BMI chart is actually a really good starting place. And I believe the healthy range is between 18.5 to 24.9. And if you don't know what the BMI chart is, then those numbers are not going to make sense to you. So what I want you to do is go to Google and search BMI chart. So what it'll tell you is the healthy weight range for your specific height and gender. And so again, there's gonna be a range between 18.5 to 24.9. Now, what I recommend is setting a goal weight in between those parameters. If you are somebody who's incredibly overweight, then I recommend setting your goal weight towards the higher end of the BMI chart. If you are somebody who is smaller framed, you tend to, you're a small person and maybe you're just skinny fat and you want to tone up, then I would recommend setting your goal weight somewhere in the middle. I do not recommend setting it at the lower end unless you truly have a small frame that would make you actually be at a healthy weight at that 18.5 range, which I would say is not for the average person trying to lose weight. Does that make sense?
It does. Thank you, coach. So, why is having a goal weight important?
This is a good question. So I've actually gone back and forth between this because I have told some clients, you know what, let's not set a goal weight. I think that it's better that we just focus on your habits. However, there are other people like me and you who are very numbers driven. And for us, I believe having a specific goal weight is so important because it allows you to stay focused and have very clear direction towards what you're working towards. Because if you don't have a goal, then you don't know how to measure your progress. However, if you know what your goal weight is, you know whether or not you're actually making progress towards that week to week. And the human mind likes to be able to measure these things in very clear, concise measurements, directions. When you don't have parameters or rules, it's really hard for the mind to know, okay, am I making progress? I feel better, I feel good, but I don't really feel like I'm actually making progress because I don't actually have set parameters for what I consider to be progress for me. Now, what I will say is that having a goal weight should absolutely be flexible. And I actually want to bring this to you because you set a goal weight a few months ago. However, I remember you weren't very set on that goal weight being like, yes, this is the die hard number that I want to reach. It was like, I'm going to get to here and then assess from there. And the goal, so you were started around 210, and I believe your goal weight was somewhere around what, like 180, 185?
Yes.
What was it?
I believe my actual goal weight was to get to a place where I felt good at a certain weight. So what I did was I dropped 10 pounds.
Okay.
Then I assessed how I felt, and I felt great. And then I dropped another 10 pounds, and then I felt even better. So ideally, my whole life, the way I establish a goal weight is my first of all, my why in that situation was I wanted to feel better. I wanted to feel my best in my body, feel agile. I wanted to move. I just didn't want to feel sluggish. I wanted to feel young again in my body and mind, just be the best me. I'm always trying to be the best me. So I got to a weight that actually made me feel the best me. When I got to 180, I started feeling incredible from 210. I mean, I felt like when I got to 180, okay, I went from 210, then I went to 200 and I assessed how I was feeling. I felt great. I was getting better. And then I went to 190. I felt even better. I didn't even know that I was going to be able to drop weight the way I was dropping and feel as great as I was feeling. The more I dropped, the better I felt. I got to 180. I felt fucking incredible. I felt amazing. I hadn't felt the way I felt at 180 since I was in my 20s. So then I just decided to just see how much further we can go. So between like 175 and 180 is kind of like where I stay right now, and I feel phenomenal. I feel like I'm 21 all over again. And that's kind of how I assess where I should go with my goal weight.
I swear, though, you set a goal. I swear you had a number in your head when you first started losing weight that you wanted to get around. Like, I know your main priority was to feel good, but which I think for everyone that's what it should be. But
Yeah.
I swear you set like a number of what you want to be around, didn't you? Or no?
It was about 190.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know that I would go 15 pounds beyond 190.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. That's good to know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how did you? Okay, so then let me ask you this: how did you set that goal at 190 pounds? How did you decide in the beginning that was a goal weight that you wanted to, go after?
I threw a number out. I had been that weight probably a year or two before that, and I felt great there. And when I felt great there, I wanted to put on some muscle and I wanted to put some weight on. So I put the weight on, and when I put the weight on and the muscle on, I didn't feel as good as I was going to feel. I didn't feel as good as I thought I was going to feel at that weight. So then I reversed what I did to get back what I had. And then I got back what I had, and then I realized that as I dropped more weight, that I can feel better than I did before. So I just got better and better and better, and now I'm feeling my best.
So it sounds like your process is set a goal weight that you think you'll feel good at, work towards that, but continue to assess how you feel to determine whether or not that goal weight is correct. And then once you reach that goal weight, if that doesn't feel good, then, or that if that doesn't feel your best,
Yeah.
then reassess. Is that correct?
Yes, that's been my way of setting my goal weight my entire life.
So I come to you, D, and I say, hey, I am 50 pounds overweight. I think I want to lose 50 pounds, but I'm not sure, what my goal weight should be. What would you tell me?
Well, I would start by making 10 pounds less your goal weight. Because if you make 10 pounds less your goal weight, that's obtainable and that's easier to get to. It's something that you might start working towards. But if I say, hey, let's make 50 pounds your goal weight, that's a big goal. And I may be asking you, depending on what you're currently eating, depending on what your current fitness level is, that might be too big of a jump for you, and it might make you give up or not even start. So I wouldn't give you, let's lose 50. I would say let's lose 10 and then reevaluate. Let's lose 10 more. How do you feel now? How do you look now? Let's lose 10 more. You might get to a point where you say, I feel my best right now. I'm eating great. I'm doing great. My life is better. And I think I'm good where I am. So it may not be 50 pounds.
So you think that it's better to set mini weight loss goals and work towards those rather than have one big weight loss goal to try to go after?
Yes, for me personally, it's been the small micro actions in my life, the small micro goals. There are some people who need huge, big goals that will change them and inspire them to move, but I'm just not one of those people. I don't need a huge goal. I need small amounts because the small amounts make me feel like I'm making progress. So as I'm making progress, I become more confident. As I become more confident, I become more confidence gives you confidence, and confidence brings more confidence, and that loop just makes me better and better and makes me continue getting and doing whatever I'm doing.
Okay, so essentially, to recap, you like to do small goals because when you reach those mini goals, you feel more confident that, okay, I can achieve what I set out to. And so, because it builds confidence, then you get the momentum to continue to keep going to work towards those bigger weight loss goals. Does that sound correct?
That is correct.
Okay, that makes sense. That's good to know because I was going to say, I remember once you actually mentioned how it's better to set big goals rather than small goals because having small goals is not very exciting. Like
Yeah.
setting a 50-pound weight loss goal can be more motivating than
Yeah.
setting a 5-pound weight loss goal because if you set a 5-pound weight loss goal, you don't really feel like that's going to change your
Yeah.
life or
Yeah.
change how you look substantially. So when you have temptations or you don't want to go to the gym or you want to skip your cardio, it's easier to be like, you know, it's just 5 pounds. I mean, I can do that whenever versus I have this 50-pound goal and it's so big that every little thing I do matters and counts. So it could hold you more accountable to staying on top of your habits because that goal is just so big and you feel like every little thing matters.
Very true. And I have said that in the past. That was a different time for, I believe I was saying that motivating other people. So for me, I know it works for me. It's not always that big goal, like going big, but there are some people that they need to see a big transformation and know that big transformation and big change is possible in order for them to get started.
That totally makes sense. I will say that I am similar to you where I like having mini goals to work towards because they're more tangible and they feel more close and then you get more of that win and dopamine hit immediately, which does help keep you going. But I do believe you actually should have two goals. And now that we're talking a bit more on this topic, I believe you should have two goals. Your ultimate goal that is very exciting and motivating is like your dream body that part of you is like, I don't know if I could get there, but that would be amazing. And then your second goal should be something more realistic, something that you can hit maybe in the next week or two that gives you a quicker win to keep you motivated on your journey. I think both of those are actually necessary because of what we just talked about, where the small goal, it gives you the win, but it's not as motivating, whereas you have that end goal of like, I ask my clients this all the time of like, what weight would you love to be that you don't think you could get to? Because a lot of times they lack the self confidence and self belief that they can actually go after their dream body, which they absolutely can. It's just a mindset. And they're like, okay, honestly, I would love to be at X pounds, but oh my God, I haven't been there since high school, you know? But I find that reminding them that, hey, like picture you at that goal weight, picture how you would look and feel. And I want you to use that to drive you when you have those really low motivation days. And I find, again, having both of those where we set mini goals where it's like, okay, we can check this off. You're on the right track. But also the big goal where it's like, okay, this is ultimately what I'm working towards. And to be there would absolutely change my life. Again, having both those goals is so essential. But like Dee said, a big part of this is setting a goal just so that you have something to focus on and give you direction and give your mind that peace of mind of this is what I'm working towards. But constantly assess and adjust how you feel because you may think that your goal weight is X, but you actually feel better 5 pounds heavier or 5 pounds lighter, right? So it's having a goal just because that is what the mind needs, but then being willing to be flexible and adjust
Yeah.
based on your body's feedback because we don't actually know how you'll feel until you get to that weight.
Right. The main thing is you want to get started in some direction. Now, I want to throw the ball back at you. I'm 50 pounds overweight. Viv, I have a sitting job all day. Um, I don't eat right. I don't have time. I have kids. How do we set a goal here? What do we do?
So I have two types of clients. The ones who, I have one client who says, this is where I want to be, and I will do whatever it takes to get there. If that's the type of client you are, I will say, let's figure out what weight you think you will feel your best at, and let's aim for that, right? However, if you came to me like you just did and really said, hey, here are all my obstacles. I want to lose weight, but I don't know where to start. I can already tell that that person already has all of these excuses in their mind of why they can't reach their goal. And so someone like that, when I say, oh, let's have you lose 50 pounds, they already have so many barriers and obstacles in their mind that immediately their mind's going to go, oh, there's no way I can do that. Like my life is just would not set me up for that. So somebody like that, I would say, let's start with a habit goal that's going to help you lose weight and feel better. What is one habit that we can change in your life right now that doesn't take a lot of time, that doesn't take a lot of energy, that doesn't disrupt your current lifestyle? And they may tell me, I can wake up every morning and do a 10-minute at home workout before my family wakes up. Amazing. Let's start there and let's utilize that as your goalpost. And we assess whether you reached your goal or not based on, did you work out the days you said you would at the times you said you would? And we would set that together. Perhaps we say Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5 a.m. I work out for 10 minutes. And so it's very black and white. Again, your mind needs and likes black and white goalposts. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5 a.m. you either worked out or you didn't, right? And so if you did, awesome. You did amazing, and that's a win for the week. No, okay, why not? And then what do we need to adjust for the following week? Perhaps the 3 days a week was too much. Maybe we need to bring it down to 2 days a week, Monday and Friday, because Wednesday's busy for you, and then we'll use that as your goalpost. But again, somebody who kind of already has a mindset of, I have all these obstacles and they want to lose weight, but they're not necessarily willing to do absolutely whatever it takes, I will set habit goals that feel realistic to them. But like someone like me and you, where we will completely uproot our lives to reach our goals, at that point, I just need to know what your goal is. Because if your goal is what drives you, then we can adjust whatever we need to in your habits and your lifestyle to reach that goal. Does that make sense?
It does. Wow. Yeah. Let me ask you this. What was your goal weight when you began your journey?
Began my journey, because I've had a very long journey.
Let's start from when we were together. You were a particular weight when we first got together, and now you've made a tremendous transformation to get to where you are right now. What was your goal? What did you have in mind when you got started? And what's kept you going all the way to here?
Got it. So something that you should know about me is that I used to do bikini competitions. So I have a very specific look that I aim for. So for me, it was never about a goal weight. It was about how I wanted to look. And I actually did not weigh myself for the first, I believe, 6 months of my weight loss journey at the beginning of 2020. But I used the mirror and progress photos as a way to measure my progress. And I do actually think this is a better method for most people. But the thing is that I've had so much experience with weight and physique, and most of our clients who are more beginners haven't had that experience. They don't really know what they want to look like. So, but they know how to step on a scale. They know how to measure their progress in terms of the scale. And so I like to use language meaning the scale, because that is a language that they know how to translate. Whereas for me, I know how to translate how I look in the mirror as whether this is what I want to look like or it's not. So I know based on how I look in the mirror whether or not I'm at my goal. So when I started my weight loss journey, it was never about a number, but it was about a very specific look that I wanted to look like. And again, I knew whether or not I was there or not.
Wonderful. Wow. So we have viewers now that are watching us who have no idea how to set a goal weight. How do you recommend? What are the first one, two, or three steps you feel like they should take in order to set a goal weight right now after watching our podcast today?
Great question. I love that. So, as you can tell, we describe two types of people in our scenarios, where one is basically the type of person who's very goal oriented, willing to do whatever it takes, and the other person has maybe not doesn't fully believe they can reach their goal weight and needs more little wins. So first, I need you to assess, what type of person are you? Are you someone who's really driven by really big goals, or does that just seem so out of reach to you that it kind of feels discouraging? Do you need more like quick small wins, right? First, assess which you are. So if you are somebody who is driven by big goals, then there's two things you can either do. Bring it back to number one. You can either use the BMI chart, like I discussed in the beginning. If you literally have no idea what your goal weight should be, use that chart. And if anything, aim for the upper end, just so that you're starting at a place where it's not underweight for your body. So I believe, again, that's 24.9 or something around there. But aim for the upper end of your height, gender, of the goal weight, and then assess once you reach that goal whether or not that works for you. Maybe a better weight for you is higher or lower, but aim for that just as a rough starting point. Again, the BMI it has a lot of flaws, and I absolutely acknowledge that, but this really gives you a starting point so that you can at least feel motivated and get started on your journey. Okay, so that's what I would say for person number one. Or I would also ask, what weight, can you think back to a weight when you felt your absolute best? Right? And if they can give me a number, then let's say, hey, let's aim for that. Let's aim for that. It may feel out of reach right now, but if that's what excites you and motivates you, let's aim for that. So that would be that would be the two ways if you're a big goal person. If you're a small goal person, let's just start with this week. Let's just start with habits, like I just talked about, small habit wins that you can do in your daily lifestyle that are going to be realistic and work for your lifestyle. And then in terms of a goal weight, I mean, we can literally start with 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 pounds, 1 to 5 pounds, somewhere in that range, so that, again, it doesn't feel so far away and it gives you that quick win. So again, it just really depends on the type of person that I am working with. And I can usually assess that type of person based on the confidence in their voice, the energy they have, the belief they have in themselves, and again, just how they speak and what language they use. If they're a little bit more shy, soft-spoken, timid, and just not quite sure of themselves, then I usually flag that as somebody who does better with those small habit wins. But if I have someone who's loud, energetic, confident, like ready to go, I'm willing to do whatever it takes, just tell me what to do, then I will utilize those larger goals, because I can tell that they are not somebody who gets discouraged easily. They just need someone to be there in their corner to support them and help guide them towards that big goal.
Wonderful.
Yep. So hopefully you got
Yeah.
some ideas. If you don't know how to set your starting weight or your goal weight, hopefully that gave you some ideas for starting your journey and how to get more clarity on how to set what your specific goal weight should be. And before we end, is there anything that you want to leave our listeners and viewers?
Yeah, I would give you 2 simple steps. One would be just to set a goal weight 10 pounds less than what you are right now. And then 2, just move towards that. Do everything it takes to get that 10 pounds off before you do anything else. Set the goal weight, move, get your nutrition right. Set the goal weight, move, get your nutrition right. And then readjust from there.
I love that. I love that you broke it down into simple terms, because at the end of the day, I think that's what people want. They want it broken down as simple, as easy as possible, as clear to follow. And I love that. I love that. And I could not agree more. If you guys are interested in coaching with us in losing the fat, keeping it off, you want a clear strategy, nutrition, workouts, cardio that's going to work for your lifestyle, then please check our coaching out at www.teamevolve.co. Also, if you want more nutrition and fitness tips from us, then follow us on Instagram at teamevolve.co. We will also have our YouTube channel where we are going to play the video podcast of this. So if you want to find our YouTube, it is youtube.com/ ooh, I definitely forgot the link right now. I believe it's YouTube. Search Team Evolve Coaching on YouTube.
Maybe you can add a link for it.
I don't know if you can add the link on Spotify, but if I can add a link, I will. I definitely will. But yes, thank you guys so much for joining us today for episode number 3 of the Fat Loss Game. We love bringing you more content that is going to help you on your weight loss journey and feel your best. And is there any parting words besides what you just gave us that you want to give our viewers and listeners?
Get up, go out, and go get it. Have a great week, fam.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Bye, guys. Bye.